Hi, folks. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Payal, and I am a traveler who also loves to meet people. And I think a blend of both is where this concept of melting pot has come about. In my Melting Pot series, I will be talking to lots of inspiring people from different parts of the world and also from different cultures, whom I meet during all my travels. The common factor between these folks will be the desire to follow their passion and make it a way of life. So step into this melting pot and enjoy the chats. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of A Melting Pot, and of course you know that my name is Payal. Today I am in conversation with Ruchika Gupta, and Ruchika Gupta is an artist, and that's her passion, and she's really sort of taken her passion to an absolutely different level. And I leave it to Ruchika to tell you all about it. But thank you so much for finding the time to come and talk to me. Really looking forward to this conversation. So hi.
Hi, thank you for including me in this. And I don't know if I consider myself an artist, but I think from the time I was really little, I've always had a connection to art.
Okay.
And that's just kind of grown over the years. And I think my mum has played the greatest role because she always got me the best of everything, even
Right.
before I asked for it. And that was a huge encouragement. So I don't have any memory of my childhood where there wasn't some aspect of art involved in it.
Yeah.
And the big one when I was tiny was, I think, around 6 years, when I was 6. And my mum told me to just paint my bedroom door. And I
Okay.
used oil paints, which was
Right.
not something like a 6-year-old. 6-year-olds usually kind of can work with, but
Right.
I loved it. And I think that's
So she just gave you a free canvas
Yeah.
and said, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was so liberating because it meant that someone trusted you
Yeah.
to kind of not mess up
Yeah,
your
yeah,
door,
yeah.
which then
At
would
the
have
age
to
of
be
6.
painted. Yeah, which would then have to be painted. But
Yeah.
also it said that they believed you could do something.
Yeah.
And they also said that, it's okay to take a risk and try it out. And
Right.
for me, that was hugely liberating.
Yeah.
And while I continued painting, I went on to using oil paints on canvas and then acrylic. B. Prabha was a huge inspiration, her work. And I think through school, I enjoyed that. But I think when I reached college, it was this huge dilemma of literature versus, fine art. And I think I went with literature because I felt like I needed help in understanding and like being able to read books, and my love for words was then
Right.
kind of nurtured there. But
Right.
that whole experience led me to falling in love with films and then taking on media and communications post graduation. Then I just found myself in a space where I was working on a few television serials and found myself just not enjoying that. That just
Right.
was not my space. I just
Right.
kept going back to art somehow. And I was taking a break and I was at a friend's place.
Okay.
Whose 3-year-old had managed to scribble on a few walls. And
Right.
she was just like, Ruchi, I don't know when I'm going to get this painted. Can you do something as a makeshift in between? And I was,
Right.
yes, of course. And that was just another big experience. Just like my mom had given me that freedom,
Yeah.
here was another chance. And we made it a whole family project. And we all kind of painted on these walls. And I was painting this gorgeous blue shimmery tree in her lobby. And I happened to meet the CFO of the Akanksha Foundation,
Right.
who walked in and looked at the tree and just said that, as a non-profit, we have a little art department. And
Right.
we're
So I
looking
think
at-
just if you can mention, what Akanksha is.
Yeah.
It is a non-profit, but what is the main sort of emphasis of Akanksha, just for the listeners who don't know?
Yes, of course. Akanksha is now a 27-year-old nonprofit.
Okay.
Focused on educating children from low-income communities.
Okay.
We are primarily based in Bombay and Pune
Right.
at present.
Right.
We are running 21 schools in partnership with the government. So these are government schools that
Okay.
Akanksha has kind of taken over
Okay.
and running completely, right from from the school leader to the teachers to the curriculum that we use.
Right.
And our aim is to ensure that all of the kids leaving the Akanksha schools
Yeah.
have the values, skills, and knowledge that they need to lead empowered lives.
Right.
We have over 3,000 alumni out there right now in some of the most prestigious colleges in the country and outside. And what I loved about Akanksha was that it felt art was an important part of that journey.
Right. Right.
And I think for me to see that there's a non-profit that can be doing a million things but chooses to focus and give that level of importance to art meant that there was something really special going on here.
Right. Right.
So when I met Tina, the CFO,
Yeah.
and she said, come for an interview, and I was in between jobs. I was in fact looking for something to do connected to art. I jumped into it.
Right.
And I remember going in for that interview. It was largely a sales and marketing kind of role for the art department.
Right.
And it was an open office, so I pretty much was there early and could hear the entire interview before me, someone else who was applying.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there listening to this girl put out all this marketing and sales jargon, and I'm sitting there wondering, okay, I am so not right for this role. I don't know why I'm here, but I anyway went in, and we spoke about art. Shaheen had been a huge inspiration even when I was in school. She's the founder of the Akanksha Foundation.
Right.
And so it was great to just meet her and have a conversation. At the end of it, I just told them that, hey, I don't know if I'm right for this role. I think the candidate before is a better hire for you. Yeah. But if you ever want your kids to paint a wall, I'd love to come in and do that.
Right.
And I left that interview pretty much like, okay, I'm not getting this.
Yeah.
But they called me, they wanted me, and I joined them. And it's been 16 years with Akanksha now.
Wow.
And I've had the chance to see the art program, which was just a germ of an idea that Shaheen, had and really wanted to nurture.
Yeah.
Just getting the chance to build that. And I think, again, for me, it was belief that people had in me.
Right.
That kind of, I didn't have a background in art.
Yeah.
I hadn't studied it formally.
Yeah.
I knew what it did for me, and
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted that for kids.
So so that was your connect with the kids as well. Yeah.
And I just felt like it's because they took a chance on me that I had the confidence to actually build the program.
Right.
We currently have a very extensive art curriculum, right from KG to grade 10, which is built very methodically, and it's treated as a core subject. It's not an extra, it's not a it's not a good to have.
Yeah.
It's an important subject that we teach our kids. We've invested people and resources and time in our timetables to kind of ensure that every one of those kids has that.
Yeah.
So it's been an incredible journey just for me personally to be at Akanksha.
You're listening to a fusion of stories recounted for the first time ever by some fascinating people from across the globe with me, Payal, on this very unique and special podcast series, Melting Pot.
It's not about every child wanting to pursue a fine arts education.
Yeah.
It's not about turning all of those kids into artists.
Right.
It's about giving them a visual language through which they tell their stories, see the world, and really get to know themselves better.
Yeah.
And you'd be amazed, but teaching art or learning art instills values like no other subject can. It builds life skills like no other, and it does it so effortlessly. When you're doing art, there are leadership skills in play, collaboration, there's just focus and concentration. There's so much happening. And if the teacher is able to just know that that's her objective as much as whatever the kids create, then it just makes it a very, very meaningful experience. So I've had the chance to do this for 16 years in Akanksha, and I think now we're at a place where I think both me and our current CEO believe that we're ready to take this out of the organization.
Okay, so what does that mean?
So that means we've, over the years, had many organizations reach out to us saying that we're trying to develop an art curriculum. We want to teach art the way Akanksha does. Can you help us? And we've never built the bandwidth or never given it enough kind of thought and time.
Right.
Because there's been so much to do in Akanksha
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
But now we want to add a couple of people to my team. We want to free up my time
Right.
to be able to not just share curriculum,
Yeah.
but go into other schools, go
Yeah.
into other organizations,
Yeah.
pretty much the same demographic of kids,
Right.
but teach them the Akanksha way of doing the art. So
Right.
we already have it happening in over 100 schools in Ladakh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that
Yeah.
was just sharing curriculum, right?
Yeah,
So, but
yeah.
how do you go in and train the teachers? How do
Yeah.
you see how it's happening in the
Yeah,
classrooms?
yeah,
How do you
yeah.
make it stronger?
Yeah.
So it's already happening in Ladakh through 16,000 feet. We're hoping to take it to a lot of littler places in the country,
yeah.
and focus on Bombay and Pune if possible, but take it wherever
Yeah.
someone wants it.
Yeah,
And there's a huge pull for it, right? So
Yeah.
we're not pushing it.
Yeah.
That people want it
Yeah.
and believe in it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping in the next 2 to 3 years, that's what my journey at Akanksha is going to be like. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
taking the art out there.
Wow, that's quite inspirational. And so you have a son?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And are you are you trying, not trying, sorry, that's not the right word, but that sounds like you're pushing him. But where do you think I mean, he's 6, if I understand
Yes.
correctly. So where do you think he fits in? How does he feel about art? How is he involved? Does it come organically for him? Or, obviously you're encouraging him in some way. Yeah. So where is he at with art?
So I don't know. I mean, he's always loved art. It's
Right.
our thing together.
Okay.
There's no way it could be any other way. We have to do art together.
Right.
That's how I kind of connect with him.
Right.
But I think I don't push him towards the art. It happens more naturally. I
Right.
think what I've learned from my experience is it's about nurturing a passion that somebody has.
Yes, yeah.
So he has different passions,
Yeah.
which may not connect to what I love
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
He loves to bake. So
Right.
giving him the opportunity and making the effort of doing that with him
Right.
is very important. He
Right.
loves insects and studies them extensively. So
Right.
for me to give him everything he needs
Yeah.
to be able to do that,
Yeah.
it's in a way doing what my mom did
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what he loves.
Yeah.
It's important that he has the opportunity to pursue it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but he
Yeah.
does say that his choices are between being an art teacher,
Okay.
a chef,
Okay.
and a scientist. So
Oh my
it's like,
God.
yeah, it's very
That's
varied.
very,
Let's see
very
where that
varied.
goes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, so basically, you're devoted to Akanksha, because I think listening to you, it seems like that's really been your journey. And so you are a creator, an artist. You're trying to reach out to as many, children as you can through your art program. And I think also you have products, right? Which so tell me something about that.
So we found long time ago that people loved the art that the Akanksha children made.
Right.
And it's very unique. You see it and you know it's coming from Akanksha.
Yeah.
And we found that was a great way to take the Akanksha kids, our schools, and our stories outside of the organization and outside of the classrooms.
Right.
And not many people come in and volunteer with us, but everybody buys things. Everybody likes art. Everybody enjoys the kind of stuff that we create.
Yeah.
So almost from the time I joined, we had started selling the Akanksha art. We take the art from the kids,
Right.
put it onto a whole bunch of products and sell it.
Right.
If you see it today, it's at a completely different level from when I had joined, because
Okay.
it's curated art now, coming from 21 schools. It's around a theme. It changes. It's products that are in the need and the demand right now. So we
Right.
keep kind of refining that line.
Right.
And the idea is not to do huge amounts of sale. It's
Yeah.
just about taking Akanksha out there.
Right.
When someone
And
picks up
also
one
it gives
of
the
our,
kids,
yeah.
I mean, it makes them feel like they have special, and also probably instills confidence in them, that the fact that what they've created is being appreciated. So
Yeah. And it's crazy. I find myself in the month of April
Yeah.
swimming, drowning in art, because all of the art from our schools comes in, and how do you select 15 pieces out of thousands
Yeah.
to kind of go onto the products?
Yeah.
And it's a celebration of the teachers
Yeah.
who get that happening in the
Yeah.
classrooms, and
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
celebration of kids and their stories,
Yeah.
and some of the stories are magical.
Interesting. Wow. I think we could continue to talk for a while, but I need to cap it somewhere. So, yeah, I mean, good luck with everything that you're doing. And I'm really, really happy, and I'm going to follow your journey. And, and I'm sure my listeners will as well. So, thank you again, Ruchika.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Although my conversation with Ruchika was short, essentially because of lack of time, just listening to her talk about Akanksha and her contribution, her passion to make that difference and empower children using art as a tool, and as she herself says, it's a visual language through which the kids see the world, and also how much Akanksha's art program has grown to today. All of this is really fascinating. I think I do need to chat with her again at some point because I'm sure she will take her art programs out of Akanksha, as she herself has said. So stay tuned for more of that. Hope you've enjoyed this conversation. Do support Melting Pot by sharing, downloading, and listening to chats with some wonderful people. Until the next episode, this is Payal signing off.